We had been assigned to the battleship squadron Latouche as part of the 1st Division of the 1058th Battalion. Our mission was to patrol the regions of the Aptic system, which had been conquered by Admiral Spoor. Our assault ships are small but versatile craft, whose main weapons are anti-proton cannons. Unfortunately, the defense shields are weak, so we have to travel in units of 6 ships. After 3 months, the Aptic system seemed like our very own backup base.
We'll be arriving in the Aptic system shortly.
Operation Phantom Flame seems to be going without a hitch. In fact, it's going so well that our leaders are worried that something isn't right. However, our captain, Abriel Nade de Brusque Parunu Lafille, differs from the other leaders because she is worried about something else entirely. About this.
Captain, there's a message from the commander.
Huh?
Put her on screen. I would like to confirm that today's joint training session is now over. All ships are to return to Dakul, moving at regular speed. Understood. Thank you.
Hecto Commander Atosuriwa is Lafille's superior officer as commander of our battalion. They had a very unique connection, but it wasn't necessarily a good one. 3 years earlier, Lafille had killed Baron Febdash, who was the commander's older brother.
Longia grel, le fiuni al contar culé, longia griula lem. Boti abriero les penal, la har bular vina lo bula lupeta, gona lu, oiva bongulos yad vuli ludel. Lonfe frulia, iglulas abdasada bigosa, bular plear, silent, danlo yad bul belly. Dabai, lol fazeta, Ruval Lorsum, Patti Lupeti, Vola Bula, Nera, Retinoria, Lenib, Young, Lopel Trashatra, Silosi.
I wonder what she thinks of us.
Does it really worry you?
No, not really, but...
Come on, tell the truth. That face! You look like a child who's done something wrong.
Cut it out. How come it doesn't bother you?
How many times do I have to tell you? I had no choice. There was nothing else I could have done.
Yeah, but the Hecto Commander might still hold some sort of grudge against us. Lafille got this worried look on her face, but then quickly came up with a response that told me we weren't going to talk about it anymore.
Jinto, it's a waste of time even thinking about it.
I wish I could persuade her otherwise.
Captain, may I have a word with you? What is it? It's about this little one. It's just one problem after another. So you've decided that you want to keep him on board as well? Well, I compared the probable fatality rates between keeping him on board the Bassaroil and sending him back to Loch Fakale. And what did you find? Before I give you my conclusion, I've prepared an explanatory presentation. It doesn't look like I've got any choice in the matter.
You mean you're not going to issue a summons demanding our surrender?
That's correct. We have no such plans at the moment. Besides, even if you were to surrender right now, we wouldn't gain much by it, so there's not really any point.
So all that's going to happen is that our planet will be subject to a blockade?
That's the intention. The blockade will be reinforced from ground level to a height of 300 west-dodge above the planet. You will be able to move freely within that area, but if anyone makes an incursion into the no-fly zone, they will be stopped and any aggressive action will be dealt with accordingly.
But that's terrible. Our planet is not self-sufficient. We depend on imports of food for survival. If you impose a blockade like this, people will starve.
We have no desire to harm your society by our actions. The fact that we are not actively demanding your surrender doesn't stop you from surrendering of your own accord. We intend to remain in this region for quite some time, so you are at liberty to choose to surrender at any time you consider convenient.
What I don't understand is why you would go to all this trouble, when our intelligence reports suggest that you don't have any interest in our planet at all.
To be frank with you, that is correct. We don't. However, what we are interested in is the nearby sword, and the hydrogen and water resources to be found in the fourth aptic system.
Are you deliberately trying to insult me?
Certainly not, Mr. President. I was merely trying to be honest.
You dismissed the importance of our planet. How could I not be insulted?
I'm sorry to hear that. How about a compromise? We will demand your surrender, but only under the following conditions. 1, if our operations are settling down nicely. 2, if we are still successfully barricading the planet. And 3, if you haven't already surrendered.
Well, that's something, I suppose. I have to say I feel a little relieved.
Of course, we realize that our actions have the potential to cause the people on your planet to fall into a state of unrest and anarchy. Having to deal with such a situation would be an unwelcome, unnecessary, and onerous task for us. Therefore, I suggest you consider surrendering before things get out of hand.
I don't want anarchy on this planet any more than you do. And with respect, if there was, we wouldn't want outsiders such as yourselves dealing with it, even if you were indirectly to blame. In any case, this was a useful discussion, Your Highness. At least we now understand each other's position. I'm sure we can discuss the finer details amongst ourselves at another time.
Thank you and good night, Mr. President, sir.
Huh?
Aptic, Mistel, Dalmov, Wimple, Miofrantia. We've come so far, so quickly, so easily. All defeated without lifting a finger in battle. I suspect the enemy is gathering their forces elsewhere in space. Somewhere out there. It all looks so peaceful.
So how come you didn't demand his immediate surrender?
Remember that in times of war, the situation is constantly shifting. You never know. The United Mankind might recapture this system at any time. And if that happens, the President, who is so keen on surrendering his planet to us, wouldn't be in a very good position, would he?
How very generous. I think the real reason was because you didn't want to do the paperwork involved in drawing up a treaty. The President was ready for you to dictate the terms of his surrender to him, and you ignored him completely. What an excellent Commander-in-Chief you are, Your Highness. Always managing to give people what they don't want, and at the same time, not giving them what they do want.
I prefer to describe it as a guiltless pleasure.
I didn't mean to criticize. If I didn't know you better, I'd say that your behavior was verging on being described as incorrigible.
Oh, really?
And I have no doubt that there will be any number of times in the future to reconfirm that, given your track record.
There will be no need to reconfirm any number of times.
Highness, I'm not the one who needs to.
By that, I hope you're not suggesting that I'm the one who needs to do so. We really must keep this a secret, Chief.
Keep what a secret?
The fact that the Commander-in-Chief and his Chief of Staff don't get along very well. It might promote dissension in the ranks.
I doubt you have anything to worry about. I think we managed to get along just fine.
It's hard to believe we're in the middle of a battlefield the way everyone's enjoying themselves.
You're Supply Officer Lin, aren't you?
Huh? Hector Commander Atosuriwa.
Nice to meet you. My father told me all about you.
Really? I liked your dad. He was always really kind to me.
Relax a little. If you're worried about the situation with my brother, please don't be.
Are you sure it's okay?
Well, my brother being murdered isn't open for discussion, but it's hardly what you'd call a good experience.
Well, yes, I can certainly see that.
To tell you the truth, my brother and I had our differences. For instance, we didn't always see eye to eye over my father. He wanted to keep him confined as a prisoner. I didn't agree with that. As you might have guessed, we weren't very close.
Oh, well, I see. I don't know what to say, but I am sorry about your brother.
Thanks. It was a shame he died. The problem now is what to do with his title.
What?
That's great, thanks.
What do you mean, his title?
He was the Baron of Febdash, which is in the middle of nowhere. I never liked the place. Not when I was a child, and certainly not now.
Really?
I was relieved when my brother inherited the title and not me. It meant I didn't have to live there. I wanted to stay and enjoy myself in Lakvakale for the rest of my life. But then that princess of yours showed up and ruined everything. No more easy life for me.
My princess? I'm sorry, but if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, then she's not my princess. She's the captain of our ship, and that's how we address her.
Don't get touchy. It was just a stupid expression. I didn't mean anything by it.
I see. I thought that maybe you were holding some sort of grudge against her.
You know, from what my father told me about you, I got the impression you were a smart kid, but I don't see any evidence of it right now.
Sorry if I offended you.
Even if I did hold a grudge, why would I bother wasting my time mentioning it to you? It would be far easier to make use of my rank and position to get my revenge on her. I'd sit tight and wait for the right opportunity. A grudge?
I see, but I thought you didn't want your title.
It's no big deal to me, you know. Having said that, being the head of a noble family isn't so bad. The big house that comes with being Baroness Febdash could be nice to live in with a few renovations here and there. I could even take a leaf out of my brother's book and surround myself with lots of handsome young men. Anyway, there's no point thinking about this until the war's over.
Well, I suppose. That's a good way to look at it.
Anyway, tell that princess of yours, or captain, or whatever she is, that I don't bear a grudge against her. What happened happened. Life goes on, and we should just forget about it.
I don't understand. Why don't you tell her yourself?
It's difficult.
Difficult? Why?
She's an Abriel princess, right? It's fine talking business with her, but as soon as you want to talk about anything personal or private, well, she doesn't exactly make it easy for you.
Is that so? It's not fair. Why do I always have to be the go-between? Just because I seem to get along with everyone, they assume I can do the talking for them. It's not fair.
Don't forget to tell her what I said.
I won't.
6 unidentified space-time bubbles are heading toward us. They appear to have come from the direction of Wimble and are presumed to be enemy scout ships. All staff, return to your stations immediately.
This is serious. We're going to have to talk about this later. This is more urgent. Everyone needs to rendezvous in 12 minutes and 37 seconds. Attention. This is the captain speaking. All off-duty crew, you have 10 minutes to proceed to your stations. I repeat, off-duty crew, you have 10 minutes to proceed to your stations.
We're not in training anymore. This is the real thing.
Everyone in the blue category is now prepared and ready for action. Understood.
Yuck. Tastes disgusting. It's nothing worse than having to work when you feel like this.
Hey, Jinto, you're late.
Sorry. I mean, excuse me, Captain.
Okay, close the hatches. I want all connecting passageways to be separated and shut down.
All connecting passageways to be separated and shut down. Passageway separation complete.
Activate the forward thrust engines with minimum propulsion.
Engines activated.
And we're off. This is Command speaking. We now have our official orders. We are to seize the unidentified space-time bubbles. If we identify them as enemy craft, we are to eliminate them. I'll send you the files containing the location of our rendezvous. All ships must try to arrive there as soon as possible. Any questions? Very well. We have a number of crew members on this mission for whom this will be their first battle. To be honest, this is my first time as well. I had no idea what that squadron was doing in Wimple. I guess you can't expect too much from an advanced force, but their mistakes are not the issue here. However you look at it, the enemy has managed to outwit us, and you have to give them credit for this maneuver. Salute the courage of the enemy! We have received the location of the rendezvous. I'll forward the information to your terminal. Activate the main engines.
Main engines activated.
Huh? Diao, what are you doing here?
Let's see who arrives first.
Stay there and you better keep quiet.
from another ship, the Ryumusov. They say our actions are violating safety protocol. They're insisting they have to speak directly with you, Captain.
Tell them I'm too busy. Tell them I can't talk right now. Besides, ships like the Ryumusov probably won't be fighting in the battle.
They don't seem very pleased.
Senior Aviator, are there any ships from our squadron ahead of us?
Yes, Captain, there's one.
Which one?
The squadron's lead assault ship, the Gamroil.
Distance.
Approximately 2 Sadaj.
It looks like Hector Commander Atasuryuwa will have the honor of arriving first.
We've been put on standby. We're also receiving debriefing information. I'll display it on the monitor now.
The yellow symbols show the space-time bubbles, which are possible enemy ships.
From their mass, I'd say they're probably patrol ships. Their objective is presumably to scout the area around Wimple and the Aptic system in an attempt to estimate the strength of our forces.
They're very close.
If we make the decision to act aggressively, it's possible we could force them to abort their mission.
Well, that's fine with me. Let's get this over with quickly. The sooner we finish this, the sooner I can be in the bar. I can just see it. My favorite bottle waiting for me. I didn't get much of a chance to drink it earlier.
All this talk of yours is making me thirsty. What do you say we get a drink? We're only on standby, so we've got time before we have to move. Huh?
Shinto, instead of worrying about drinks, worry about this cat of yours.
There he goes again, getting himself into trouble.
If you're getting drinks, I'll have a Tielnong.
You like it hot with loaf floating in it, don't you? Coming up, Captain.
And I'd like a soyasa, a cold one. What? Do you want to stay with me?
Well, he is my cat after all.
What, are you jealous? I want my drink cold with apple flavoring.
You got it.
Captain! Request permission for me to get something stronger from the bar.
I presume that was a joke.
Sorry, I gotta put you in
Of course
here.
I was
It'll just
joking,
be for a
Captain.
little while.
I was just trying to lighten up the mood here. Come on, humor me. You could at least pretend that it was funny. I don't want anything to drink, my boy.
Okay, but next time don't call me my boy.
Get rid of that cat and get involved with some proper adult relationships. Then I'll stop calling you my boy.
In that case, just call me my boy.
While you're there, I'll have a soyasa too. There should be some leaves down there from the Yoni Kingdom. And make it with lots of sugar, please.
Coming right up.
We have received our next orders. All ships in the squadron are to enter plane space. After entering, assemble behind my ship as quickly as possible in a single column formation. The space-time bubbles have been positively identified as enemy ships. Our mission is to eliminate them. If we let even a single one of them get away, we will have failed. As this is our first battle, we must make a good impression. We have to succeed. Do you understand? Any questions, anyone? Very well then. I'll see you once we're in plane space. Let's go. Chief Engineer, prepare to generate space-time bubble.
Yes, Captain.
Entering the sword in 30 seconds.
It's time to activate the space-time bubble.
Space-time bubble activated. We're now prepared to enter plane space.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're in. We've entered plane space.
Check immediately where the lead assault ship Gamroil is situated.
It's 500 West-Dash ahead.
Follow them.
Roger.
Receiving a transmission from the Gamroil. We're to perform space-time fusion.
In 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
You can all see the situation we're facing. I don't need to explain it. For now, let's just try to avoid getting ourselves into trouble. Prepare to fire the anti-proton cannon.
Releasing the safety devices for numbers 1 to 4 now.
As stipulated by Operation Phantom Flame, we have passed through the United Mankind territories in a bid to link our territories and divide theirs in two. In doing so, the Star Forces have conquered and acquired many swords and planet systems. The first fleet, commanded by Admiral Spoor, had led the way, and even as we speak, we're expanding our territory. Although the third Aptic system that we conquered seems distant from the front line of battle in terms of regular space, so long as there are swords, which are the gateways into plane space, we cannot give up the possibility of enemy attack. Therefore, as long as the swords exist, that's the front line of battle.
Space-time fusion. All ships, attack!
Our battle has now begun.
Well, maybe.
That's not it at all. It's that we all survived the test of our first battle.
Continue with space-time fusion.
Roger.
We've just had confirmation that the health spoil has been destroyed.
They must have retreated too late. I can't believe there are casualties in my squadron.
We're being attacked.
LaFille!
It's going to be a direct hit.
The anti-proton cannon.